Welcome once again to the Caden Ricketts Show here on the Bear Network. I'm your host, Gary Olmos. We're going to talk about Bradley Central Bear softball with Coach Ricketts. Welcome to the program. First time we've had you on there. And Coach, let's just start. What is your background in sports and particularly in softball and coaching and all?
Yes, sir. So I went to Saudi Daisy High School, and then I went and played at Cleveland State, and then graduated from UTC, and I came up here actually with Coach Drew Linus to coach girls basketball at Walker Valley, and then I coached with Coach Wes Anderson at Walker Valley, and I also coached with Coach Drew Akins at Walker Valley. So that's where I've been the past 5 years, coaching all three of those sports, and that's kind of what brought me here.
Well, you've coached against Bradley obviously a lot in different
Yes, sir.
sports there,
Yes, sir.
so you're pretty familiar with the program there. And how long have you been in coaching? Guess altogether, several years.
So I had an injury in college, and when as soon as I stopped playing, I started coaching. So when I was 19 years old, I'm 28 now, so about 9 years.
What's the best thing about coaching to you? What do you enjoy most about that?
I just enjoy seeing the kids and just watching the kids kind of, grow in their sports, but not only grow in their sports, but grow as people and just developing them. And just watching the excitement they get and knowing that what sports brought to me and seeing what that can bring to them as well.
Well, and it gives you a chance with young people under your jurisdiction there to influence them and make the right decisions.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Do the things that you want them to do and representing Bradley Central in a great way. And
Absolutely.
I know every one of our athletes is really good at doing that, because we've dealt with a lot of those there. Where are you in your season? Leading up to now, I know you've been playing for several weeks now. Where are you at? Sort of the midpoint of the season, or?
So actually, after today's game against Howard, we'll be right in the middle. We're 10-7 currently. We're 1-1 in the district. We've had some good battles. We've lost a few close games, given up a couple big innings. But it's been good to see us competing, and really, outside of about 2 of our 7 losses, we've been in the game in the 4th inning or later. It's just, cleaning up some mistakes.
Well, it's like any sport, you got to score to win, no matter what sport is, but defense is so important.
Yes, sir.
And I think and I'm a baseball nut myself, and it's fielding. That's a huge part of it. And pitching, and softball, particularly pitching.
It is.
And who are some of the key players on your team?
So far, pitching-wise, we've got a pretty deep staff. Kaylee Callahan, she's dealing with some shoulder problems right now, but she's been out there. We've got another junior, Gracie Owenby, and then a sophomore, Mariah Greenwood, that have been doing the majority of our pitching, and they've all done a good job giving us an opportunity to win in those games. But it's been good to see. Throwing strikes, giving us a chance. So.
Who assists you in the coaching realm there?
So I've got Coach DeJuan Massengale. I know you know him. He's a Bradley guy.
Yeah.
He coaches football as well. I've got Miss Lainey Harris. She just graduated from Lee. It's our first year teaching and coaching. She's been a great asset for us. And then Miss Bree Waddell, who's been around Bradley for a long time and does a lot with our athletics programs. And so that's 3 people that, getting the job, coming into a school. I thought it was important to get 2 people that really knew Bradley and, loved Bradley. And then I actually coached Lainey, so I know what she's about. I've seen, the competitiveness and the good things that she can bring to a program as well. So it's just good that I have those 3 to support me.
Well, you're young enough to identify with these kids. They're 14 to 18 years old, and you're in that range there. And I know what is the makeup of your team? as far as freshmen, sophomore, junior, senior. Are you heavy one way or the other one?
We've got 3 seniors.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, sir.
Only 3.
Yeah, 3 seniors. I believe 6 juniors, 5 sophomores, and 4 freshmen. So we've got 19 girls. And it's been some team effort, top to bottom. We've played, and just everybody's contributing. It's been good to see. But that's where we're at. We have 19 girls.
And we're recording this on a Thursday morning. You've got Howard tonight at home.
Yes, sir.
That's a district game for you.
It is.
Do you do a home and home with them?
We do. We go back to them on Tuesday.
Okay, I was going to ask.
We go next week. We go to Walker Valley Monday. We go to Howard Tuesday. I believe McMinn Thursday, CCS Friday, and then Marion County comes out Saturday. So it's a busy week next week.
Well, it really is. Do you play double headers anytime during the? I probably don't for the district, do you?
No, we don't for the district. We played 3 games on Saturday. Actually, 4 games on Saturday last week in the Hickson tournament. But most of ours are not double headers. So a lot of one. I am glad to see a lot more teams have JV this year. So that gives our younger girls an opportunity.
That's what I asked about JV, yeah.
Our JV team, I believe, is 3-1. So and just getting them the opportunity in games, because I know in the past softball, not everybody has JV. So I've been pleased to see our JV girls get a chance, get a chance to play. And we're actually hosting a JV tournament at the end of the year with Cleveland. So that'll give them another opportunity.
I know baseball, a lot of times they'll play JV and varsity back-to-back. Is that how you would do it if they have a JV team?
We actually do our varsity first in softball.
Oh, okay.
Numbers are a little bit smaller, so there's some girls that have to do both. So just for, you don't want a girl playing a JV game and then having to turn around and play with varsity and with pitching and everything like that.
That's true.
So it's varsity then JV.
It's pitching. When I see college softball, they got some of these girls that can really fire the ball. I mean, and they wind up and put some smoke on that. Is that what you're looking for? Who are you, the pitching coach, or you have a?
So Coach Waddell does our pitching.
Okay.
She pitched at Lee, and velocity is important. We've got two of our girls, Mariah and Kaylee. They throw it a little bit harder. And then Gracie Owenby, who's pitched a lot of innings for us as well. She's kind of the off speed, got a lot of movement. Got a really good change up. So it's a nice mix. And it's last night, for example, Gracie came in and threw the first three. You bring Mariah in after her with a little more velo. They're very different pitchers, and it really paid off for us.
Wow. I know there's key aspects of the game, but to you, what do you demand? What do you look for first when you're trying to put the team together? What catches your attention? Their ability to hit the ball. I mean, of course, you got to score the runs.
Right.
I mean, is a hitting coach? You the hitting coach?
Yes, I do a lot of the hitting.
Yeah.
And that's kind of because between baseball and softball, hitting there's differences, but pitching's completely different. I mean, you've got completely different motions. So Coach Waddell does a good job with pitching, but yes, sir. Just hitting it. We've done a really good job of hitting the ball this year. We've scored a lot of runs, and like I said, we cleaned up a few defensive mistakes. Our record, we're a player or two away from really flipping that in 3 or 4 games going our way.
What's the best speed a high school girl could top out on a fast pitch?
I would say upper 60s is probably the fastest. The fastest we've seen this year is probably the East Hamilton's pitcher. She's a senior. But the girl from Tennessee throwing 78, there's nobody around here doing that.
No.
So, but I would say upper 60s is probably the fastest we'll see this year.
Let's talk about your district. Who's the team to beat in the district?
East Hamilton got the best of us on Tuesday. They're really good. They've got, like I said, the senior pitcher. We had a walk-off win against Ooltewah. Again, Ooltewah's got a left-handed pitcher that threw really well against us. We beat them 9-8. I was really proud of the battle we showed. In that one, we were down 5-1 going into the 4th inning, and came back and won 9-8 in the last inning.
Wow!
So that was a big win for us.
Are your pitchers all right-handed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there an advantage for a left-hander? I'm a left-hander myself. I was wondering about that.
It's a different look when you have a left-handed pitcher in there. It is a different look. So yes, I would say it's just it's just not being comfortable in seeing that. Curveballs coming in different ways for sure. Curveballs coming in different ways. Screwball going the opposite way. So yes, I would say it's a little bit of advantage just because there's not too many around.
How about your hitters? Are they mostly right-handed? Do you have any switch hitters?
We've got 2 that majority hit right-handed, but they can slap and go left-handed. But the only true left-handed hitter we have right now is a freshman, and she's a slapper, Lexi Patterson. So we've got a lot of righties in our lineup right now.
Okay. Well, I see some on the social media. Greenwood, posted. Apparently, she's a pretty good hitter.
She is. She's the top of our lineup, and she does a great job in that leadoff spot. And then you've got our lineup has been very very mixed in production, and like I said, through the top to bottom, we've really done a good job of scoring runs and having timely hits.
Do you go through changes during the year with shifting your lineup? If somebody's in a slump, maybe let somebody else fill in for them?
There's a few changes. Really at this point, we kind of have our lineup and where we're going to go. But she's been in the leadoff spot all year for us. Really, our top 5 have kind of been there.
Well, you're
stayed around.
Pretty safe.
And then we've mixed some bottom, in the bottom.
Yeah.
But again, we've had some contributors all the way around, and it's been good to see.
how does someone coming into Bradley, say it's 8th grader, I'm down at middle school somewhere.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to be a 9th grader next. How would I go about getting into the program? Or do you know about those, or do you see those girls, they come to you, or how do they try out or whatever?
So you're just saying like coming from middle schools?
Yeah, coming up.
Yes, sir. We'll have a tryout date in the summer. We don't have that yet. We'll post it on our social media. It's a Softball Bradley on Instagram is where we put most of our stuff out, and then Bradley Central Softball on Facebook. So yeah, just coming up here in the summer and for the tryout, and then we kind of get things going there, and then a lot of our girls play volleyball, so the ones that we have during volleyball season will be lifting, getting ready, and then after volleyball season we get most of our girls back.
We have a summer camp like a lot of the sports do.
Yes, sir.
And it'd be here at Bradley, I
Yes,
guess.
sir. We'll have a elementary camp, and we'll also have a middle school camp like we did last year. So.
Okay, for the young kids. And then
And we did the middle school camp. I've got some former players that have played for me that came back last year. Morgan Sharp from Western Kentucky. She's their starting second baseman. I got Hope Engel from Wofford. She's their starting catcher. And then I also had Bailey Stack from Tennessee Tech, and she came in. She's the outfielder for Tennessee Tech. So I try to bring in for those middle schoolers some girls that have been there, done that, and have different stories and can show them what college looks like and what that can be for them.
well, it's a big change. It's like I've talked to other athletes here at Bradley in all the sports, and jumping from middle school to high school, it's like jumping from high school to college.
It is.
Huge.
It's a big jump.
It's a
Yes,
big
sir.
jump. And just because you're good, on one team or whatever, it doesn't guarantee, that it'll carry the next level. Because some people peak out early, as we know.
For sure, for sure.
It's always fun to hear that and talk about those girls. I know they work hard. I mean, there's a lot of conditioning that people don't think about. And
There is.
It's not like you show up on a game day, at 6 o'clock or whenever and start playing ball, because there's a lot of work behind the scenes that youth coaches do and the players too.
And I will say, in baseball, softball especially, if you don't see live hitting, like it's a completely different look. It's baseball and softball, it's really just not a sport that you can just, take time off and then jump right in. So there is a lot of work behind the scenes, and it's not something that you can just kind of pick up a ball and go.
It's timing. It's timing, especially in hitting, and I'm sure just like any sport, to get better, you're going to do it a lot on your own.
For sure, and that's how it is, and that's in the summer a lot of times our girls are playing summer ball, so they're playing 40, 50 games in the summer, and that's extra work. I mean, seeing the live pitching, and that's what we've got a good group that puts in the extra work and really gets after it and wants to work.
What would your typical regular season schedule? How many games would you play in a season?
So we can schedule 34.
34.
We had 30. So we had 28 in the tournament this year, and it gets crazy. I mean, last week with that Hickson tournament, I think we played 8 games.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of softball. And 4 weeks in, we're 10-7, so 17 games already. So it's just taking care of your bodies and making sure they're ready to go, because as soon as you hit March 3rd, it's full blast and you're playing a lot of softball games.
Is injuries do they play a big part in your regular season? I mean, you mentioned you had one with a shoulder.
So right now we've got 2. So one, and it's catcher and pitcher. So that's two important positions. And it's what you would expect. We got a shoulder for pitcher and then a knee for a catcher. So, but hopefully we're going to find out a little bit more about Kaylee at the beginning of next week, and then our catcher. She's working. She's doing some PT right now. No big injuries. She's working to get back. So hopefully we'll get both of them back when it's tournament time at the end.
Okay, let's skip ahead now to postseason. Where would that be? Is it based on who wins the district? Or
so district tournament will actually be at Ooltewah.
At Ooltewah.
Yes, sir.
Then from the district, you'd move on to the region.
And then that'll be higher seed.
Yeah. The higher seed.
Yes, sir.
How many move on from the district to the region?
2 from each district.
Okay.
So then R2 will play their 1, and then R1 will play their 2.
Then you go to a sub-state game.
Yes, sir.
After that.
Yes, sir.
And the winner there goes on to the state.
Yes, sir.
Which will be held where this year?
Murfreesboro.
At Murfreesboro.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's where it's held most every year.
Yes, sir. Spring fling. So it'll be back where that's at.
Oh yeah, spring fling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Forget about some of these things like that. But well, that's been around a long time. Murfreesboro's a great place to hold.
It is.
They've got great venues over there, and it's centrally located.
It's like kind of a central location.
Yeah. So yeah, we appreciate them having it there, and look forward to the success for you girls there and everything. Coach, glad to have you here today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
Bradley softball, and it's always great to interview coaches and talk about the players and promote them. And this is no different than any other sport at Bradley. It's a big part of the life here.
Sir, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. It's Mr. Caden Ricketts, our coach here, our head coach at Bradley Central High School for girls softball. We appreciate him taking time. Also appreciate Mr. Schroyer and his class back here producing our shows each week. You can watch them on the Bear Network on BCHS.TV, on YouTube, and there'll be a link to Twitter on there as well. Until next time, Gary Olman saying so long for now, and God bless, and go Bearets!